Welcome campers. In today's video we're going to go over how we find our camp spots and plan our trips and how you can too. Stay tuned. Alright you guys, so in today's video it's going to be a one take. So any sounds in the background, anything that happens, or me messing up words is staying in. So we're going to go over what we use to find our camp spots and other apps and tips and tricks along with what we do so you can find your perfect camp spot. Mainly we use three apps. We use Google Maps, Google Earth, and Gaia to find our camp spots and plan our trips. And once we have the basics planned out, like how many days we're going to be out and where we want to go, we will go from there. So for example, if we choose Flagstaff, the general area around Flagstaff, so we have that planned out. Then I'll start looking in that whole area for forest roads. So I'll spend time on Google Maps just searching forest roads, and I think once we get remote enough and we know that there won't be people in the area, I'll go to the satellite filter and start looking at the forest roads for pull-offs for camp spots. So if we're doing a 2-day trip, I will find a camp spot for the first night, and then, you know, in a totally different area around Flagstaff or wherever, I will find a second camp spot. And then for those camp spots, those will be the primary ones, but I will look for additional camp spots around it, so just in case we pull up to that spot and someone is there, we have a backup plan, so we're not screwed. And then, so once we have the area, Flagstaff, and our general camp spots planned out with backups, we'll start planning, like, what will the weather be like? What food we should take, you know, what drinks, like everything like that, kind of plan out the logistics. And with that, I will search for on Google for the weather in that area. So I'll just type in Flagstaff weather. Or if we're going somewhere really remote that you can't get a temperature of just from Googling, I will find what town is closest to that and search for their weather. Just so we have a general idea, so you don't pack for warmer weather and you get there and it's freezing and it ruins your whole trip or anything like that. So that's mainly what we do. Google Earth, we will look at the area. If we think anything's going to be technical, I will plug in those coordinates to Google Earth for the camp spots to see if there's elevation changes or if it's just in a spot that's not accessible for our vehicle. And for, you know, if you guys use this, it'll help you so you don't get to halfway through your trip and then the road is washed out or it's super rocky and nasty and you don't want to damage your vehicle or get stuck. I think that's a good resource. And with Gaia, I will plug the camp spots that we have saved into Gaia and have them saved forever. So, you know, it gives you options in the future that if you just want a spontaneous camping trip, go, okay, you know, let's go here. It's been a while. Let's go here. I have 15 camp spots saved for this area, so let's choose from one of those. So it kind of makes planning for the future a lot easier. So that's mainly what we do to plan our trips and our camp spots out, just those resources. And some of the other apps you can use is OnX Off-Road, The Dirt, which we haven't used that one before. I just kind of checked it out a little bit, but I know The Dirt, iOverlander, and Campendium. There might be a couple here and there that I forget, but I know iOverlander, Campendium, and The Dirt are about the same. They're community driven, so once you go on there, it shows you the whole map, and you can search a certain area, and other users save camp spots in those areas. So if you're interested in going somewhere in New Mexico, type in or go to the area on the map, and I think you hit search, and it'll show up all the camp spots that other people have saved for that area. And it should tell you, amenities that people have seen there, like a fire ring or a legit campground with like a toilet, showers, whatever. Pictures, there's, people usually put pictures up of the camp spot, so that's a good resource too. And like a general description of the camp spot, and how hard it was to get there if anybody was in the area or whatnot. But with those 3 apps, use them interchangeably, so you can, or interchangeable, whatever, to find a good camp spot, along with Google Maps and Google Earth and Gaia. If you use all those resources at once, you should not have a problem finding a camp spot. The only reason you shouldn't is if the area is just shut down because of too much snow, or a fire has gone through the area, or they're just closing the forest road for some reason. But those resources should be great to help you find and plan out your trips. Another good one that's underrated a little bit is Facebook. There's tons of groups on Facebook. There's Overlanding USA. You should have overlanding groups for your state. Just search for them. So if people are willing to share camp spots in your state, that's a great resource. Or if you're planning a trip to other states, I think, commenting, going, hey, I want to go to Wyoming to plan a trip, or I'm planning a trip to overland in Wyoming or New Mexico or Montana. Jesus, a lot of planes. I've never been here before. I want to, check out this certain area of the state. Does anybody know of anything cool in the area, or have any camp spots that they're willing to give me so I can have an awesome trip? So usually those work out pretty well, but I think with Facebook, all those apps, Google Maps, Gaia, everything, it should be a pretty easy process for you to find a camp spot or to plan a trip out. I really want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys do have any comments and questions about anything that I've talked about, comment down below. Let's get people talking about what they use and how they find camp spots, just to make, our little community that's growing a great resource also. Please like the video. That does help us out a lot with people finding our channel and our videos. And if you found this interesting, subscribe so you can stay tuned for our DIY videos to the Jeep, our product reviews, and our camping trips. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and have a good one. We'll see you around.